So we're having a little video tour of our garden here today at BroadBranch House in Washington, D.C. in the Chevy Chase, D.C. section. We've lived here since 1981. Hard to believe. One of the first things that we did in 1985 when David and I got together was put together this wall, this retaining wall. You can see David up there. So we built this wall. It's still holding together. And over the years, these steps have been rebuilt and built again, and it's about time that we get a railing on it. And as you can see, our lilies of the valley are coming up quite nicely, and we've got some ferns in there, and our Nadina has weathered the winter quite well. Our Siberian iris here. One of the things we're having issues with is our street tree right now. He was a replacement planted last year and he didn't do very well. We trimmed him back. Bridget, the tree person from DC, was the other day to have a little discussion with us on what to do with it. More of the surprise lilies. Thank you, Marianne Feske. That's where these all came from. These wonderful little flowers here. The Ipomedia. Lots of Ipomedia. So what do you have to say, David?
Again, this wall was built about 30 years ago. It's held up very well. And the plants are just kind of filled in now, and now it's really quite this year seems to be extra special. A wonderful spring.
Our daffodils have pretty much gone their way, and our azaleas are about ready to go ahead and burst. We expect that that's going to happen this week, that we're going to see azaleas in bloom. Our tree belt has always been a little bit of an issue. For a long time, we had Pachysandra in it, and it did very well. And then the Pachysandra had bees, ground bees in it. And they seemed to eat the roots of the Pachysandra, and it died. And of course, probably didn't hurt or help that the salt from winter snows the city. We planted a few things, lots of liriope in there. There's a little Lenten rose or two going on. That's in there. Let's go and have a look at the violets. Some very pretty violets growing in this year. As you walk up our stairs, we've got some tulips floating around from past plantings. And some from this year. There's Mr. Racer Powell coming out for a little walk. Mr. Powell. Racer's our senior kitty. Picked him up in Ohio in 2004 at a racetrack. That's how he got his name, Racer. And how he got his name Powell is he went and lived with our neighbor Ike for a number of years, and Ike always named everything Powell. So what do you have to say for yourself, Racer? Dinner time, dinner time. So we planted some pansies this year.
Done very well. I don't know what is that a tulip or that little white thing? Right?
That's a primrose.
Oh, is it primrose? Okay.
Yeah, we do primroses.
The colors are just so intense this year. It's really
so you said, what about these color blend tulips?
Yeah, it's a new one. I've gotten a catalog several years, and I thought, well, those look nice. So I just said, well, we'll just try them. And I'm very happy with them. They're very intense colors, and they're very pretty.
Yep, and they're just about, the ones on the outside are just about done, and the pink ones on the inside are just coming up now. It was talking about the primroses. There's some primrose. Our hostas are starting to show up. Leatherleaf Mahonia has done quite well. More of the tulips, the color blend tulips. This is the side garden on our south side that we have always had some trouble with. The soil's never been very good. What are these, Jacob's ladders, David?
Solomon seal.
Solomon seal. And there's some, what, Jacob something in there as well?
There was no,
Oh, Jack in the pulpits.
No, the pulpits over there. No, and the pretty, oh gosh, really that epimedia is there. Yep.
So epimedia going here, and we had central air conditioning put in the house in 2000. That was a big, or 2001 actually, that was a big deal. So the epimedia is doing quite well. Two different colors there, a very light yellow and a much more intense yellow. And the weeds are doing well too.
Weeds?
Yeah, we got lots of weeds over here. Some more of our Nadina, heavenly bamboo that's growing away here.
This has got some
What is that?
goat's beard.
Goat's beard. Gotta love some goat's beard. Here we're talking about the azaleas. Oh, it looks like we have a little bit of honeysuckle growing up on this azalea here. We'll have to pull that out. You can see the azaleas are getting ready to bloom.
And this will be a pretty
Oh, the mother-in-law's tongue, which is
trumpet vine.
Trumpet vine, and that came from our friend Marilyn Dewar from her house in Pennsylvania. She brought us a little slip of it. She said you always need to bring that out on Mother's Day and plant it. Well, that's probably been here since 85, 86.
Yeah.
And it's been cut back a number of times, and there's lots of volunteers. Hello, Racer Pal. Racer Pal.
Pretty feather leaf homemade.
Racer Pal. Racer Pal. Racer Pal. Racer Pal, you having some grass? Racer. Racer Pal. Racer Pal. Giving us some Racer Pal time. Hello, Racer. Meow. What do you have to say, huh?
The pansies are just doing so well.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been cool.
Yeah.
There's our neighbor Carmen coming out to pick up her mail.
Yes, yeah, all junk. But,
Yeah.
I'd like to help.
So this is our little side yard here with some more of our instances. This yard probably has done better because we've paid more attention to it. It's on our north side. And again, we put in the 8x8s, whatever they are. We put those in back in the late 80s and with the raised beds to try to give us some stuff, give us some more planting space. So we have the deer, and a little fawn. I don't know why everybody thinks that the female deer would have horns and a fawn, but we've had this. This was one of the little projects that kind of arrived when I was doing architectural antiques, along with the little soapstone sink there, little soapstone sink. We had gotten it at an auction in Pennsylvania and used it as a little fountain, and turns into be a bird bath in the summer, and the cats like to drink from it. Again, another little ornament. More of the, is this Lenten rose, David?
Yeah, Lenten rose, yeah.
So our little side here, we have lots of liriope on the side, and again, more of the hostas.
Yeah, there's some pretty big ferns and hostas.
Yeah, the ferns are going to be coming up. Oh, there's some little fern fronds right
You
down.
can see the hosta
Right there. There's some fern fronds, and then there's some hostas sticking up. These are bigger hostas. More fern fronds back there.
Hostas over there.
Another garden incident. I don't know where that one came from. I think it was something that was picked up from a garden. It's a bird bath base that never the bird bath part had long gone. More surprise lilies. And what are these? What's this growing down here, David? What is all of this?
That's Ipomedia too. And,
Ipomedia, more Ipomedia. Look at those little beautiful little stars. And then above it?
pardon me?
Above it?
I'm trying to think. Steel bees.
Astilbe, lots of astilbes. And then here's a little, you can barely see it, but there's a little iron gate that we had put together for David's sister Mary Ann as a headboard when she had moved into her little house in Indianapolis. And then when she passed away, it came home with us and has been sitting in our garden as a little trellis for a while. So this year it's on this side of the house, and there are bleeding hearts there. And then there's a little white female statue that's from David's mom's garden. It has slowly eaten away with the weather. Of course, another St. Francis statue. And more of our azaleas. And ferns, lots of ferns. Little thing in the back there, which can, little green thing over by the dryer vent, our neighbor's dryer vent. That was the puchinka. That's one of the first things that always comes up and blooms in the spring. It's always so beautiful.
I want to show them this little,
You want to
little leaf mahonia.
Mahonia here on the side of the house.
Yeah, and it's got a pretty little blossom in January, and now it has some nice little grape
Little grape berries in there.
Yeah, very pretty.
And then Virginia creeper that's up the side of the house. Now this is one that does not grow into the mortar, so that's why we have it. It does need to be trimmed out each year.
You can kind of see how he got his haircut last year.
He got a good haircut. Needs another haircut. And then we have our little metal holder there that in the winter it holds a bird feeder, and in the summer it will hold a big flower basket. And then you look back to our back garden, and that was where we had our hot tub, which was delightful for the first few years. So Mitts. In the garden with Mr. David Feske here. And we've got some of the tulips are ending up slowly. Our strawberry pot took a bite this winter. It was my fault when I took the cord for the weed whacker and got rid of that.
This is the first year I was putting in some new plants, so they're coming up very nicely. The surprise lilies. And they're just starting back there. There's some Spanish bluebells. It'll be very pretty in a week or so. And we got our Japanese ferns. They're looking very nice this year too. They're nice, beautiful little frilly leaf. They're pretty color.
Mm-hmm. So, and we want to talk about the little blue flowers.
Oh, the vinca.
Vinca, yeah. How pretty the vinca is doing.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's so nice. It's so early. It's one of the earliest things to come out.
Let's see. There's a little Bailey there. Let's see if we can get a little Bailey on the screen there.
Hi there, cute.
There's little Miss Bailey.
Oh. I didn't know.
She could hear your voices.
So there's the one of the surrounds for the DC fireboxes when we worked on that firebox project back in the 90s. So
you can see over the rock. It's starting to come up now. They'll cut that down. We can keep it green all winter, what's left of it, till early February. So then it starts coming out now.
So let's look at the holly tree that's here. This is one of the first plants that we planted back in 1985 when we did this garden with the raised beds. And you can see our Tidy Cats box, which is our composting bucket there. And I've got my what I call phlegm over here. The night blooming cereus is out, and that's called phlegm from a connection back in Pennsylvania when I was a kid.
And this deck connecting to the dining room is first things we did as well.
Got the hose out, and so there's one of our little tables and little things growing on there. And then this I got there today or tomorrow. So we've got our little garden incidents. I picked this one up with Julianne once. She always thought it was a little guy holding his penis, which was very nice. Thank you, Julianne. And then up on the wall we have some garden incidents as well, which are religious ones. They're
saints for the gardens. I just can't remember their names right now.
Well, I think that's St. Francis over there, because that came from Virginia's project, and then there's a little kitty cat next to it.
Yeah.
That one might be a saint too, and then there's another St. Francis over here. All right, so this is it. This is the end of our little tour. Thank you for joining us. April 6th, 2020, quarantine garden tour. Bye-bye now.